Hello, my name is Kendall McLeod and I am a registered dietitian and certified personal trainer through NASM. I'm here today to talk to you about some nutrition for your pre and post exercise, and also just overall nutrition as you train for your race. So first of all, I just want to say carbs, fats, and proteins are things that we call macros, and all three are very important to have in your diet. I know some people get a little bit irritated about having fat in their diet or having too many carbs. So carbs are what fuels your body through exercise, so it's very important to have them, especially having something in 1 to 4 hours prior to exercise. So if you're going to have it 4 hours prior to exercise, you can obviously have a little bit bigger meal, and if you're going to have it up to an hour before, I would keep it small, maybe a small banana, a yogurt, even some sort of a liquid drink. That way your body, it's more simple sugars, your body's not going to cramp up, and you're not going to have a stomach ache or anything like that. So that's really important to make sure that pre-exercise that you're getting that in. So that can be anything: peanut butter on an English muffin, you could do a Greek yogurt with some fresh berries in there or frozen berries. If you are exercising in the morning, maybe having some oatmeal in there and tossing a handful of walnuts or crushed almonds in there, just to give yourself some carbohydrates and some fats or some simple sugars, and a little bit of protein is also important to get in. Now, post-nutrition, after your exercise, you want to get something in within 60 minutes of finishing your exercise, and that's to help your body recuperate, help rebuild muscle, and refuel, and so that way you can rebuild your muscles and not worry about it. So within 60 minutes is optimal. Obviously, if that's not an option for you, then you can definitely, as soon as possible, is what's most important, and that includes hydration as well. So for post-out recovery, you could do a smoothie, you could do a turkey wrap with vegetables, you could do chicken and broccoli and some rice. So getting in your carbs, fats, and proteins, very important there. For example, when I trained, I would do yogurt with granola and some berries before, and then afterwards I would have a slice of whole grain toast or whole grain English muffin with some eggs and avocado on top. So I would get carbs, fats, and protein in after my workout, along with water or electrolytes if needed. So I did want to talk a little bit about carbohydrates, fats, proteins separately, and then talk about what to look for on a label when you are buying processed products. First, carbohydrates. People are a little bit afraid of them. Having carbohydrates, a great thing to have. Sweet potatoes are a great option. Whole grain brown rice. So I have some here. This is long grain brown rice. So this takes about 45 minutes to an hour to cook. So just planning ahead, maybe making a batch before and using it for different recipes throughout the week. If you're going to have pasta, getting a pasta that says whole grain. So you want to look for whole grain on your label, or you want to look for this my finger's going the wrong way here. This whole grain stamp, and you want to see it's a whole grain, not just wheat. So whole wheat or whole grain is what you want to see on the label, not just the word wheat, because that means they're taking out some of that fiber and refining it a little bit. Okay, so if you're going to do breads, making sure that you're looking for a whole grain bread with around 3 grams of fiber per slice or per serving. Sometimes 2 slices is a serving. If you're going to have something like a cracker, so this is a Triscuit, it's got 3 ingredients, so you want to look at the label here: organic whole grain wheat, and then there's sunflower oil, and then there's sea salt. So again, this is a very clean label. Clean label would be something with 7 or less ingredients, all words that you can pronounce, and that have an expiration date also. Usually clean labels, sometimes things that don't have an expiration date, or they're like a year out, minus pasta, dehydrated foods, may not tend to be the best choices for you. So they may have some more preservatives in them. Whole grain, whole wheat, fiber, you want to shoot for about 25 grams of fiber per day in your diet if that's available to you. If it's not, that's okay. If you're starting at about 5-6 grams a day, you want to slowly work that up. Fiber can cause gas, can cause pain. So once you start increasing your fiber, that does help with digestion, that does help lower cholesterol, and it does help keep you full longer. But you really want to make sure that you ease into that and that you drink plenty of water and you have that fiber throughout the day and you don't just have it all at one time. So sometimes protein bars will be supplemented with fiber. So you just want to read the label and make sure you don't overdo it all at once. Next up, I want to talk about fats. So fats are going to be saturated fat, unsaturated fat, and then trans fats. So trans fats and saturated fats are fats that are solid at room temperature, and trans fats are ones you really want to avoid. Those are what are used in a lot of foods to help preserve them and extend their shelf life. So those really increase your risk for heart disease. They are not good for you. So you want to look for anything that says trans fatty acids or partially hydrogenated oils, things like that. That's going to mean it's got some trans fats in it. So again, looking at your label to see if it contains that. You do want to keep your saturated fats around 10% or less of your daily intake. So you're going to find that in animal products. You're going to find that in cheeses, things like that. So it's okay to have some, just being mindful that that shouldn't be your full intake of fat. Healthy fats are going to be things like salmon, tuna. You can get it from lean beef, you can get it from avocado, nuts, seeds. All those things are much better choices, nut butters, much better choices to get your fat in. Fat is very important for your body, it's important for your brain, it's important for recovery. So it's not something to steer away from, it's something to be mindful of and to make good choices. And then next up we have protein. So I have some protein choices here. I have some natural ground turkey breast here. This is extra lean. So this one's 99% lean, but 97% lean is good. 93% is also good. Draining the fat off. Again, watching your serving sizes is important. Having eggs, hard-boiled, regular, whatever works for you. Sunny side up. Eggs are a great thing to have. Hard-boiling them is great. A great snack prior to a run, maybe with an apple. So that would be a good choice. So again, an egg has 7 grams of protein, so that's a really good pre-workout snack. If you're going to do yogurt to get protein, for example, this yogurt has 15 grams of protein for this little 5-ounce cup, 130 calories, 9 grams and only 6 grams of added sugar. So what's really cool is within the last couple years, they've changed the nutrition facts label and they've added in the amount of added sugar. So when purchasing things like yogurt, cereal, breads, all those things, there's going to be on the very bottom here, total sugar and then added sugar. And so this one here is 9 grams in total sugar and 6 grams of added. So it's really important. Some yogurts have upwards of 30 grams of carbs, and 25 of those grams are coming from added sugars, which can come from that fruit on the bottom. Some of those flips have chocolate in them. Great little snack once in a while, but not a go-to every day. So watching what you get, how much sugar and how much protein. Plain Greek yogurt is another great thing to have. Usually you can get about 15 to 20 grams of protein in a little serving from that as well. So fish, nuts, seeds, tuna, beans, eggs, all great sources. Chicken, turkey, and even lean ground beef is a fine choice too. So making sure that half your plate is fruits and vegetables when you eat a meal, a quarter of your plate should be some sort of carbohydrate, and a quarter of your plate should be protein. So that's a nice way to kind of visualize your plate. If you do need to have something on hand to keep in your car, say a bar, protein bar, things like that. Here's just one example, RX. This one, here's their label. Nice clean label here, 12 grams of protein. It's got egg whites, almonds, cashews, dates. That's what gives it, a little bit of coconut. That's what gives it that. It gives it some protein and some fat in here. So this would be something that you could keep on hand prior to a run or maybe post-run or bike ride, and that way you can get a little bit of nutrition that way. So that being said, that's really condensed, but it's really important to really have well-rounded nutrition. Don't be afraid of any foods. All foods are fine in moderation, but trying to keep your core diet, carbs, fats, and proteins in check and making healthy choices, and really shopping that perimeter of the grocery store is going to be your best bet for natural foods. So again, my name is Kendall McLeod, registered dietitian, certified personal trainer at F45 Training in Rochester Hills, and I am available to you. I'm a member at Kensington, Troy, for any questions that you might have or concerns with your diet, specifically to you in your training program. My information will be provided, and I look forward to meeting some of you.